Hey, everybody, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday at its new time at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. So what we're going to talk about tonight is the Alabama legislative session and kind of what's going on. We're right around the midpoint of the session now, and we want to kind of give you an update on what's going on. And we also want to talk to you about what AARP Alabama's priorities are this year. And to do that, we have our fantastic Alabama State Advocacy Director, Ms. Anna Pritchett. She is going to tell us all about those things. So Anna, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right.
All right, let's get started.
Let's get started. And before we do, I just want to remind everybody that AARP, we empower people to choose how they live as they age. And AARP is a nonpartisan 501c4 that has over 420,000 members in Alabama. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and their families. So now we can officially take it away. So Anna, tell us what we've got going on.
Terrific. So I'm sure everybody has been aware and has seen all of the news and everything. So I know this will take a little bit of time, but not too much. We are focused on our priorities in the advocacy agenda for AARP in 2024 in Alabama on supporting family caregivers, working toward access to affordable quality care, fighting elder abuse and fraud, which we hear about constantly, working on affordable, reliable, high-speed internet access, and then, of course, anything to do with easing financial stress. So what that means that we've been working on typically toward anything from guardianship system reform to closing the coverage gap, modernizing the adult guardianship system, funding for services for adult family caregivers, and working to protect your data privacy, just to give you a few examples of how that looks at the State House. We prioritize along those lines. As you can see, we talk a lot about family caregivers, saving family caregivers time, money, and providing more support to those family caregivers. So respite care programs and the like coming out of the Alabama Department of Senior Services, as well as other agencies, are critical to help our family caregivers help their loved ones stay at home longer, remain independent, keep their dignity, and help those family caregivers take care of themselves, because that's how all that happens.
That's so important.
It is. And so when you ask folks, what's been going on. So I will say up until this, early on, we were cautioned that because of the elections, particularly, that the legislature was really going to focus on high impact, high visibility issues the first half of the session. So when you ask about those, you can see the kind of mix of things that I know you've all been hearing about, gaming and gambling being at the top of the list, school choice, election reform, lotteries, and then, of course, IVF. Actually, in vitro fertilization clinics have worked in there because of a law they passed last year. So all of these kind of big ticket, high visibility issues have really taken hold in the first half of this session, and that's what they have been working on pretty much nonstop. We've had 3-day weeks, which is historically the legislature has tried to work in session Tuesdays and Thursdays and work in committee work on Wednesdays. But since the beginning of this session, these folks are there to work. And so they were working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in session as well as committee. So it's been a pretty accelerated schedule for all of us. And it's a hard road to hoe sometimes. I'm sure you've seen all of this on the news. They have been working on the gaming bill this last couple of days. It is actually, I think, was approved last night, has gone to, I want to say they came with 2 versions, and I think finally they're either still working it out or it's gone to the governor's office. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. But gambling is moving forward as things are being discussed and negotiated in order to get it on the ballot if necessary in November. So stay tuned and watch your local news for updates for that. And we'll also post things as they go along. What we expect to happen, Dorothy, if you'll bump to that next slide.
Sure.
There you go. So what I wanted to make sure that y'all were aware of, this is the basic timeline that we're dealing with. I told you we started in February, early February. Up until now, they have been focused on those primary big ticket items. We're hoping that next week they're on break to go back and work a constituent work week. They come back after that and then go on spring break at the end of the month. And then in April is when we really expect the rubber to hit the road, I guess, to quote a friend of mine. This is where we hear about all of the other issues and things that need to be addressed with the legislature, including some of our advocacy agenda items, to really take hold in the beginning of during April, and that we expect that by early to mid-May that they will be ready to sign and die and go home. So that is the expectation, which means we'll have a very accelerated schedule in April to really hit the issues that mean a lot to us, like funding 988, which is the emergency mental health hotline. So as you move forward and you can see what we're doing, let's see what's next, Dorothy. I was going to see.
And yeah, before we move on, Anna, it seems like this year more than other years, it's been very drama filled. Mm-hmm. And like we saw in the previous slide, filled with a lot of things on their agenda to sort through. So I know that, like you said, after this break is when we're really focusing on our stuff. So I think we're right now at the point where we're ready to kind of have some folks call to action to support these caregiver things and to support broadband and all this good stuff. So
yes. So we are only as effective as you make us, as our members and supporters and advocates. We need you as we approach this really heavy work period. The legislative session is always exciting, and like I said, it's they have really come to work, and and the leadership had an agenda of priorities, and they have really been pushing those forward. So we are going to hit the floor running in April, and so if I can encourage all of you to really become advocates. If you're not already, take advantage of all of the different ways that we try to communicate with our members and our advocates on how, what we're doing and how we need your help so that your elected officials can hear from you about what is important. And this is one of the ways that we use volunteers on a regular basis, is getting connected to their legislators or elected officials. And we help them. We don't just send you out there, mind you, but we help you know what needs to be done and help you get out and stay in touch on these important issues. So this is a basic list of the ways that we use volunteers and how we help them and make sure that they have the supports, or you have the supports that you need to be effective. If you, we also work directly with advocates who maybe don't have time to come up to the Hill right now in Montgomery, but can connect with us through social media or through our activist hotline and other mechanisms. We've got ways for you to take action. Either you can sign up to get our newsletters and our e-blasts. You can find us on Facebook, which is where we get this things out, I think, the quickest. And you can see there are QR codes are there. So you can sign up where it says get involved. That is where you can sign up to get our e-blast and our e-alerts for our activists to take action and to find out what's going on. Our Alabama advocacy page, which is a website we're just now developing. So we're trying to get all of our resources there, but you can track bills, find out who your elected officials are, and see also what we're doing. And then find us on Facebook right there on the other side to see what's happening real time, pretty much. So I encourage you to follow us and sign up for any of these things. They're great resources, and we really work hard to try and keep them updated as quickly as possible to keep you in the loop.
Absolutely. And there's so many things that we hear about in the news, like you were mentioning, the gambling and the IVF and all of this stuff. But, you know, what we are really looking for we want to make sure that these issues don't fall through the cracks while everybody's focusing on those big, dramatic, quote unquote, newsworthy items. So, and I will put for these QR codes, I will put the links to these in the comment section as well. So if you're not QR code savvy, that's totally fine. You will have the links in the comment section in both YouTube and Facebook. But we also have another way you can keep in touch with us. Tell us about that, Anna.
So we are now trying to build our rapid response team through a texting or SMS alert system on your smartphone. So you can type 22777 in the messaging field, and then I think you text join, and you will sign up to get our text alerts. And we are just starting to build that list, so we really could use your help. I will tell you, like Dorothy said, with all of these kind of big controversial issues going on right now, it is really hard to stay top of mind on these elected officials. They have so many issues coming towards them, and we really need your help to make sure that they hear our voices. Our folks 50 plus are the ones who vote and show up and need their help. So really, I do implore that you take action today and sign up for our alerts, either through, I say both, for the texting to help us try out that, as well as our email alert system. And then, of course, like I said, keep on top of things with Facebook, because that's always the easiest to get across to.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anna. And just to let everyone know, Anna has done a fantastic job in developing some of our issue training for online. So we will put that link to those YouTube videos in the comments as well. And you can learn about the guardianship bill of rights, and you can learn about, for example, the family caregiver tax credit as well. So these are all things that we are fighting for in the state and for you. And we just hope you join us in the fight for this. So thank you, Anna, so much for joining us and giving us this great information. It's really nice to have it kind of laid out for us like this and giving us an update.
Sure. I look forward to coming back and telling you about all the exciting things that happened at the end of the session.
Absolutely. We will have you back. Thanks so much, Anna. And thank you, everybody. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just said have a great day.
You too. Thanks. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next time on Wisdom Wednesday in April. Have a great one.